Hello and welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Anyekan coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the major stories. President Bola Tinubu assents to Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria bill. Federal government constitutes committee to review Public Procurement Act 2007. Plus, China trial visa-free travel for 6 countries. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We begin the news this afternoon with Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has assented to the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Bill 2023. According to reports, the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria was established on August 1, 1960 by an Act of Parliament and revised as the Laws of the Federation 2004. The new act also established the Defense Industry Technology, Research and Development Institute, DEITRDI, to create an elaborate scientific and research-based technological foundation for Nigeria's defense industry through the leveraging of combined multidisciplinary research from multiple military research institutes for application that leads to commercialization and the development of new military technology and capacity in Nigeria. The Act provides a comprehensive regulatory framework for the regulation of the manufacturing, distribution, storage and disposal of defense articles in Nigeria. According to Ajuri Ngilali, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Bill 2023 was sponsored by the Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Defense, Benson, APC Ikorodu Federal Constituency. In the meantime, President Tinubu has approved the appointment of Desmond Akwawo to serve as a Federal Commissioner of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. The presidential spokesman said in a statement that the confirmation is subject to the approval of the Senate. According to the statement, the new RMAFC Federal Commissioner, who represents Rivers State, is being appointed following the tragic demise of the immediate past RMAFC Federal Commissioner from Rivers State, Osondu Wena, earlier this month. The president urged the new Federal Commissioner to deploy his robust experience across tiers of government toward the comprehensive reformation of processes that will ensure the most efficient and productive utilization of allocations to all 3 tiers of government in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Akawo has resigned from being Rivers People's Democratic Party PDP chairman following his appointment as RMAFC Federal Commissioner. Away from that, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF George Akume, has inaugurated a committee to review the Public Procurement Act 2007 in line with current economic realities of the country. Akume, in his inaugural speech, recalled the Public Procurement Act 2007 was signed into law on June 4, 2007 by the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. The SGF explained that the Act provides the legal and institutional framework for the enthronement of transparency, accountability, value for money, and efficiency in the procurement of works, goods, and services within the ministries, departments, and agencies. Listing the membership of the committee, he named the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice as chairman, while members include the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, representative of the World Bank and KPMG Nigeria as technical consultants, and the Permanent Secretary of the Cabinet Affairs Office as member and secretary of the committee. Meanwhile, the federal government, through the National Economic Council, has announced plans to channel at least $1.58 billion donor funds into 36 special agro-industrial processing zones across the nation, aiming to create over 18.1 million jobs, including 100,000 farmers nationwide. The first phase, which now runs in Kano, Kaduna, Kwara, Ogun, Oyo, Imo, Cross River State, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, will gulp over $520 million and is set to conclude by 2028. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, revealed this to newsmen after the conclusion of the 137th National Economic Council meeting, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. Kyari said 26 states have expressed interest in joining Phase 2 of the program, where the $1 billion funding from the African Development Bank, AFDB, and other partners will be channeled. The state will begin documentation for the second phase in early 2024.
And Food Security made a presentation to the Council in respect of the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone, a program being carried out by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in conjunction with the African Development Bank, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, the Islamic Development Bank, state governments, and private investors. This program started in 2022 with the first phase with 7 states and the FCT keying in. The 7 states are Kano, Kaduna, Kwara, Ogun, Oyo, Imo, and Cross River. And like I said, with the FCT being the 8th partner in this program.
Elsewhere, the federal government, through the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyedola, has expressed readiness to position the country as a maritime nation through the completion of key projects within the ministry. Oyedola made this known at an event held in Lagos while charging heads of agencies under the ministry to work to realize their deliverables. This was contained in a statement signed by the ministry's Director, Press and Public Relations, Olujimi Oyetomi. According to the statement, the event was climaxed with the signing of a memorandum, which was led by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency's Director, Bashir Jemo, and subsequently followed by other agency heads. We move down to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives has called on its Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness to review the activities of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to ascertain the extent of conformity with its mandate. It also mandated that some committee to evaluate NEMA's disaster response capabilities in terms of personnel competencies and response, as well as management infrastructures. The resolutions of the House followed the adoption of a motion by the member representing Ado, Okpoko, and Ogbadibo federal constituencies, Philip Agbasi. Agbasi, while leading the debate, expressed concern about various complaints against NEMA by victims of disasters and stakeholders for its delayed and ineffective interventions. While adopting the motion, the House further mandated the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness to prepare recommendations on how to improve the agency's efficiency and effectiveness and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has vowed to investigate the utilization and impact of the 62 billion naira federal government intervention funds invested in HIV/AIDS control programs. It noted that the investigation would also be extended to funds donated by international donor organizations to the leprosy, tuberculosis and malaria control program during the Muhammadu Buhari administration. The chairman of the House Committee on HIV/AIDS, Tuberculosis, Leprosy and Malaria, Amobi Oga, stated this during the oversight visit of the committee. He expressed disappointment over the absence of the national coordinators of the National Malaria Control Program and the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Programs during the oversight at the two agencies by the committee. In a separate development, the governor of Anambra State, Charles Soludo, has stated that President Tinubu's administration inherited a dead economy from its predecessors. Soludo made the assertion while commenting on policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in a live broadcast. The former CBN governor, while explaining his role in putting curbs on monetary structures when he headed the Apex Bank between 2004 and 2009, accused the CBN of illegally printing money. He maintained that the CBN failed to comply with the 2007 CBN Act, adding that the current monetary trajectory was avoidable in the first place. Moving now to Africa, where Niger's military ruler General Abdourahmane Tidiane has met with his counterparts in Mali and Burkina Faso in his first international visit since seizing power in July. According to a statement from Burkina's presidency, Tidiane arrived in Burkina Faso for a friendship and working visit with Captain Ibrahim Traoré. The statement added that the pair discussed issues common to both countries, in particular the fight against terrorism and socio-economic development. Still in Africa, at least 7 people have reportedly died after they were swept away by a flooded river in southeastern Kenya. Reports say they were sitting on a log in the middle of the river while returning to their homes in Makueni County after meeting First Lady Rachel Ruto in Nairobi when the floodwaters rose and took them. According to reports, Kenya, as well as neighboring Somalia and Ethiopia, are grappling with their worst flooding in recent history. On the foreign scene, China's foreign ministry has said that China is trailing visa-free travel for citizens from France, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands, Spain, Malaysia for a year. The trial will be instituted by China. It said from December 2023 to November 30, 2024, ordinary passport holders from the countries can do business or travel to China without a visa for up to 15 days. The ministry's spokeswoman, Mao Ning, said the decision is to help promote China's high-quality development and opening up the country's economy. Still on the foreign scene, chairman of Egypt's State Information Service, Dr. Rashwan, says at least 98 trucks have so far entered Gaza through the Rafah border crossing. Rashwan said the trucks were among the 208 trucks that had entered the Egyptian side of the crossing today. The Egyptian official noted that Egypt would continue to receive groups of injured people from Gaza for treatment and facilitate the evacuation of foreigners and dual nationals who had been stuck in the territory. Still to come in the news. Liverpool get major boost ahead of Manchester City EPL clash. Stay with us for details after the break. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has said it would end the importation of refined petroleum products by December 2024, as all the country's refineries would be operational by then. It also projected that the national oil firm would grow its revenue to 4.5 trillion naira at the end of 2023, adding that the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refining company under NNPCL's management would be completed by December this year. The group chief officer of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari, disclosed this when he led officials of the company to a meeting with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, where the lawmaker called for the privatization of Nigeria's refineries. Still in business, the International Air Transport Association (IATA) has disclosed that as of September, $1.68 billion of airline funds are locked across Africa out of a global total of $2.36 billion. The regional vice president for Africa and the Middle East, Kamil Alawed, disclosed this during the African Airlines Association 55th Annual General Assembly in Uganda. He said that the impact of this financial entanglement is deemed devastating for connectivity and raises concerns about the sustainability of the aviation sector. Alawade emphasized the association's efforts to deliver value to its members in navigating the challenging landscape. Reports say that Nigeria accounts for $783 million of airlines' blocked funds, with only about 10% cleared. Despite recent efforts, the airline said a significant portion of those funds remained inaccessible to them. On our health news, World Health Organization (WHO) and all 36 states governors will sign a compact agreement to improve healthcare service delivery in the country. The Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed stated this while briefing newsmen at the end of the National Economic Council meeting in Abuja. Mohammed explained that the decision to sign an agreement with WHO was reached at the council after a presentation on Nigeria's health sector renewal program by the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate. According to him, the presentation looks at all the challenges in the health sector, from financing, human capital, and a supervisory point of view.
There was even a resolution of council that the WHO is coming in December 15th. All the governors will come and sign a compact agreement in terms of service compact, where we'll be able to reiterate our determination to approach the health sector in terms of budgeting, giving it the required impetus, the required attention that it deserves. Today, NEC, ably led by the Vice President, our chairman, received a presentation from the Coordinating Minister on Health and Social Welfare on Nigeria's health sector renewal program, which looked and dissected in terms of very robust sector scan on health, from the tertiary to the primary level, looking at all the gaps, the problems and challenges of funding, and even of the need for renewed interest by stakeholders, mostly governors at the subnational level, experts, doctors, and everybody. The financing gaps that has been looked into, and the dismal numbers that has been shown as if we are drifting as a nation, because some of the numbers are very, very negative in terms of infant mortality and others compared to other nations that are even less developed than us.
Still in health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has seized expired pharmaceutical products worth 15 million naira from a pharmacy in Jos Plateau State. This is as the agency also confiscated unregistered alcoholic beverages worth more than 30 million naira from shops in Jos and in the nearby Bukuru metropolis of the state. The director of the North Central Zone, NAFDAC, Shaba Mohammed, who disclosed this, said the agency had earlier received reports that the pharmacy sold expired drugs. According to him, the pharmacy tampers with expiry date markings on pharmaceuticals to revalidate their shelf lives. Mohammed explained that during NAFDAC's raid, it found a room in the pharmacy packed full of drugs with their expiry dates cleaned off, awaiting the imprint of new date. Speaking further, Mohammed warned the general public against buying pharmaceuticals from unregistered pharmacies. Now to sports, where Liverpool has been handed a major injury boost ahead of their Premier League tie with Manchester City on Saturday. Liverpool stars Joe Gomez, Ryan Gravenberch, Curtis Jones and Ibrahima Konate have all returned to training ahead of the Man City clash at the Etihad Stadium. The quartet all missed the red victory before the international break. Liverpool sits just a point behind Man City heading into Saturday afternoon's clash at the Etihad. Staying in sports.